Hey guys, this week for Weapons Wednesday, we decided to do stun guns. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't want to do this video at all because I know that it's gonna be a really boring video if I don't at least get shocked once. And we've got some stun guns that are kind of small, and I thought that you would probably want to see how effective they actually are. So I'm just gonna go through a few of the ones we carry, and we'll just kind of take a look at them. So the first one I'm going to start with is this guy, and it is the Gun Keychain. This is kind of cool. We started carrying this, I think, about a week ago, and I thought it was really neat because I've always seen stun guns as kind of big and bulky, and these are cool because it can just hook on your keychain, fit in your pocket, and then when you need it, you can just pull it out and use it. So what's really cool about this is that it's got these little voltage dots on the side. You can kind of see them. And the way this works is when you touch them, it takes the safety off of it. So it'll only work if you're touching those. But like, say it's in your pocket, if you're touching it against like fabric of some sort, it's not going to trigger it. It's not going to turn off the safety. So you actually have to be touching it, and then you can actually use it. So it's pretty sweet little things. But the question everyone has is this actually going to take someone down? I'm 230 pounds, and I have doubts that this would do much for me, but the size isn't always what you have to think about with stun guns. So when you're looking at stun guns, one of the first things you'll notice is that a lot of them have like a voltage on them. So this one in specific is 24 million volts. Some of these big ones are, like this one is 250 million volts. Volts aren't really an accurate way to describe the power of a stun gun. Like, I wouldn't buy a stun gun based on voltage. What voltage actually does is voltage is the amount of arc that can actually go through clothing. So it's important in that respect. Like, if you have a higher voltage, it can go through thicker clothing. But what you really care about is amperage, because amperage is what is actually going to, take an attacker down. They never state how many amps are on these things, so you don't really know. So the only way to really know how effective a stun gun is by using them and listening to how loud they are and looking at how big the spark is. So when we're showing off these different stun guns, we'll look at that, and then you can kind of tell just how strong it's going to be. The other thing you got to know about stun guns is when you use them, they work better when you hit someone in a certain part of their body, especially where there's a lot of muscle. So you always want to hit someone in the upper chest. The neck is extremely effective. The groin is very effective. I'm going to have my assistant shock me in the belly because I feel like it's going to be less effective, and I don't want it to hurt as bad. So I know that's being kind of not as tough as I should be, but for the first one, let's just try that. So I'm going to hand this over to my assistant. And oh, one more thing. With a stun gun, when you're shocking someone, 1 second is really all you need to scare a person off. 1 second will cause them to jerk back. It actually feels like someone just punched you as hard as they could in the area where they shocked you. If you go to 2 to 4 seconds, that'll disorient someone. If you go 5 seconds or more, that can actually take an attacker down. So I would not suggest ever going above 5 seconds. It's just dangerous. But my assistant is going to shock me very quickly. So we'll see. So I'm just going to go for the stomach.
Okay.
Oh.
There we
It So I've been shocked by a lot of stun guns. Usually it feels like someone hits you really hard. This did not really feel like that. It felt like someone grabbed my skin in my belly and just twisted, and it like dug their nails into it. So it definitely wasn't pleasant. I could see that being extremely painful if you hit someone in the throat or in the chest. So this thing definitely could be effective. But I also, if I was carrying something this small, I would also plan on having some other self-defense techniques ready. You know, you might want to be practicing your self-defense techniques or carry some other sort of weapon as well, maybe a Baton or a knife of some sort. But this could definitely be effective in taking someone down, or at least, at the very least, scaring them away. So that's the stun gun keychain. I think it's pretty cool. The next one we're going to look at is the stun gun pen. We started carrying this probably about 3 or 4 months ago, and it's been very popular because it's so small, and it's kind of goes in our class of hidden weapons. So you can carry it in your shirt pocket, your pant pocket. It's about the size of a pen, possibly a little bit larger. All of our stun guns are also rechargeable, which is pretty cool. We chose not to carry the ones that aren't rechargeable. So like this one, for instance, you just plug into a USB. They all come with the cables, so they're super easy to charge. This one's got a little safety here. You turn it on, it lights up, and then works with the diodes again. So this one says 25,000 volts. It sounds a little bit louder than the keychain, so it's probably a little more powerful. So my assistant is going to use this. Oh, yeah. And yes, that one actually hurt more than the last one. Again, it didn't feel like a big punch. It felt like someone just grabbed my skin with their fingernails and twisted or ripped. So still very painful. Effective, definitely. Okay, so let's see. Then we got this guy right here. This is our stun gun flashlight. And I actually think this one's pretty cool because it's always useful to carry around a flashlight. I mean, and this is about the size of a smaller flashlight, so I like that. It's got an on-off switch on the back. And so that's like the safety on-off switch, and then you turn it on with, there's a little trigger thing there. So that turns on the flashlight, or you can turn it to the stun setting there, and then, so as you can tell, that had more of a crack to it. That wasn't like the, rippling sound that the other ones had. I actually think this one might hurt really bad. But it's got total, yeah, you can tell it's gonna hurt. So another thing I should probably mention right now is that you never wanna use these things in the air. You never just wanna hold the button down and let the arc flow from side to side in the air. When you're hitting it against your skin, it's actually it's creating a conduit between the two. And what happens is if there's an arc going where it's just going in the air, it actually can destroy the mechanics of this thing. It can destroy the diodes, it can destroy the amplifiers. So if you want these things to last for a while, you don't want to ever be doing them in the air. Save them for when you actually need them for self-defense. I mean, it's good to test them for a quick microsecond just to make sure they're working. Yeah, don't play with them in the air. All right, I don't think I'm gonna test this one. It sounded pretty scary. But we'll go and check the next one. I'm gonna turn that off. Okay, so the next one is the snake bite stun gun. And this one's really scary looking in my opinion. So it's got like a carbon fiber wrap to it. And that's, I think, why we call it the snake bite, because it kind of looks like snake skin, but it's also got like the fangs up top. And those fangs up top are actually pretty sharp. So if you wanted to use this as just like a self-defense brass knuckle type tool, that would actually hurt really bad. Like that actually hurts me just hitting like that. But if you turn it on and you hold it like this, and it actually has a pretty nice little spark to it. And it can spark you between the diodes, and it can actually spark you on these guys itself. So all you have to do is get it on a person, and it could take them down pretty easily. So this snake bite stun gun is one of my favorites just because of how small it is, and how it, how I was mentioning earlier, how it's always good to know another self-defense technique or have another weapon available. That's what's nice about this is, let's say the stun itself doesn't take the attacker down, you could easily take them down with just the little prongs on there, because they're super sharp, and that would be very, very dangerous. So this is a really good one. I definitely recommend this one. It's awesome. We just got this one last week too. This is another one of my favorites. This is the Comfort Grip Stun Gun. As it says, or as it sounds, it's actually extremely comfortable. It's got a nice feel to it. It's small, portable. Let's see how loud it is. Oh, and it's got a flashlight too. I really like that aspect. I really like when they have the dual purpose of having a flashlight as well. It's just nice to have something to carry with you in case you need it sometimes. So I'm gonna turn, it's got the ability to just have the flashlight on, or if I click it one more time up, then you can tell that the safety's off and it's ready to stun. And let's just see how loud this guy is. So that actually startled me just hearing it. So I definitely don't want to stun myself with this thing, but you can tell it's a good stun gun by how loud it is, how big the spark was. I really like this one, and it's super comfortable, and you can just tell it's good quality too. It's a good stun gun. Okay, so now that we've gone through the stun guns, I'm going to show you a couple of stun batons. Stun batons are awesome because they're just a little bit more police grade, a little bit stronger, a little more heavy duty. They actually pack more of a punch, and you're going to hear that when I use it. But what's nice about this one in specific is it's made out of an aircraft aluminum, so you could strike someone with this and knock them out really easily. It gives you an additional weapon in addition to just having a stun gun. I really love this thing, but let's take a look at it. So we turn it on with the switch on the back, and then it's got multiple modes. So we turn our first mode on, and then we've got a flashlight. And that flashlight, actually, you can tell it's got like a normal flashlight, it's got a strobing flashlight, it's got a dim version. But if we click the button again, then we've just turned the safety off on the stun gun. So now we're actually ready to stun someone. So let's just pay attention to how loud this is. Okay, so that made me jump just by hearing it, and I would be scared half to death to get hit by that. So yeah, don't play with this at home. This is an actual weapon. Very cool. I like this. I think it's awesome. I would feel totally comfortable using this as a weapon just because of how strong it feels. This thing's not going to break easily. Really cool, and it comes with a rechargeable kit, so you can recharge the batteries on it. Really awesome. So let's look at the last one I have. And I saved the best for last. This is my favorite, and this is the tactical stun baton. So this one's awesome. You can just tell by the looks of it that it's just really well made. And there's a couple of things I like about this one. First off, it's made out of an aluminum alloy, so it's super tough. Again, this could definitely be used as a striking instrument. But what I like about it also is it has the ability to expand to a longer size. What's nice about that is it allows you to strike an attacker from a further distance if you're using the stun portion. Also stronger for a blunt instrument for striking. Just a really cool stun baton. And let's take a look at this one and just see how loud it is. Again, you've got the button on the back there to turn it on, and you can tell it just went on. We'll click it again, and then the flashlight just went on. And then we'll click it a third time, and now we've just engaged the stun. So let's just see how loud this is. And that's pretty loud. I would be nervous to get hit by this. But that's all the stun guns I have to show you today. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Feel free to contact our customer service anytime. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week for Weapons Wednesday.